I stood there for a few moments, not sure what I was looking at. It was a tall, solid shadow. Nothing but darkness that seemed to have some shape, but I couldn't make any of it out. I was still mortified after seeing what I did in that exhibit. After a minute or two, I finally mustered the strength to speak. What the hell did you do here? What did you do to these animals, that zoo worker? What kind of a sicko are you?
I needed you to believe me. How else was I going to show you that I'm the real thing? I know for a fact that you understand who I am, now.
Yes, so I'm going to die. What difference does it make if I believed you or not? I'm going to die anyway, right?
Wrong.
What do you mean?
There is one way in which you will live. You must do this one thing. It is the only thing that will save your life.
And what is that?
You have to kill your fiancé's son.
Are you kidding me? I'm not doing that.
Then you're not going to live. Simple as that.
What a load of...
Do you love her?
Yes.
Do you know how she really feels about that child?
She doesn't talk about him much. All I know is that the father died in a car accident.
She lied to you.
How do you know that?
It's part of my job. You see, she was raped one night coming home from college. It was someone she knew. She never reported it, and she didn't have the heart to abort it. Legal trouble has made it a nightmare for her to give it up for adoption, but truth is, she hates that child. She wants nothing more than for it to die. It reminds her of that fateful night and how she only let him get away with it but got stuck with that rape baby. He's probably off having the time of his life while she's been spending years trying to recover what's left of hers. Why do you think she jumped into your arms so quickly?
Wait, that actually makes a lot of sense. She's never even told me the father's name.
Killing that child will save your life and do her the biggest favor in the world.
The shadow-like presence that stood in front of me now walked up to me and held out what appeared to be an arm. A large, black knife with some strange engravings appeared in its hand.
Take this. Make it quick.
But I'll spend the rest of my life in prison.
No, you won't. Something like this is very easy to make look like an accident. Trust me, you won't even be considered. No one goes to jail, and everyone continues their lives the way they want.
This feels wrong, though.
I don't care how it feels. If you don't do this, you will die. And you will leave the love of your life alone with that bastard rape child. Is that what you want to happen?
I looked down at the knife in my hand. Can I really do this?
You'll do the right thing.
And like that, the shadow being vanished into nothingness. I got back into my car and drove home, thoroughly freaked the hell out. I couldn't stop thinking about it all. First things first, I had to find out the truth from my fiancé. If everything he said turned out to be true. If I was going to do it. It was still a few hours before she'd be there. I tried thinking about what I was going to ask her as Tom and Jerry played in the living room. Time seemed to drag on forever. I mean, what the hell was I even going to say? When my wife got home, I gave her a few minutes to settle in, and then I told her we needed to have a serious talk. I told her everything, and she burst into tears. It was true. Every last detail the demon told me was true. She was raped, and she was stuck with the kid. I did my best to comfort her the rest of the night, telling her things were going to be okay. I assured her the burden was going to be lifted from her, and I secretly knew I was going to be the one to lift that burden. I called out of work the next day, even though my boss was really annoyed with how much time I'd taken off. I told him this was going to be it, and hung up. When the morning came, this child was the only thing on my mind. I knew it was the right thing to do, but it still felt wrong. I felt like I was damning myself to hell forever by doing this, but it was for her. I reasoned with myself, going to hell would be worth it. For her. I'd only ever seen the kid once or twice, and those weren't very memorable experiences. It was a long drive to her mother's house. I sped like a demon most of the way there. I knew it was the last day, and I wasn't exactly sure if I was going to be able to get there in time. I'd gotten lost quite a few times, but I did eventually get there nonetheless. And there I sat, in my car, in the veil of darkness and a full moon over my head, holding this demonic knife, getting ready to murder a small child that couldn't even speak. Tears fell from my cheeks and onto the blade. Hesitation flooded my thought process before I suddenly heard a faint whisper from behind me.
Do it.
I got out of my car, walked into the house. Strangely enough, the door was unlocked, and I was happy I didn't have to interact with my soon-to-be in-laws. Everyone was asleep too. Everything seemed to be in my favor. I walked around the bedroom slowly, making sure not to wake anyone up, especially not the baby. I found the bedroom with an open door and a crib inside. I wasn't even gonna look. I just wanted to get it over with. I pulled my arms back as I got ready to plunge the dagger and end its life. I never felt more regret in my entire life than I did in that moment. It took everything in me not to start crying then and there. I figured Balaam would take care of the rest. I walked out of the bedroom and into the kitchen. I couldn't stop crying after that. I knew I'd never be able to live with this. I looked up at the analog clock in the microwave, 12 a.m. Just in time. The very same shadow figure I'd seen just a day ago suddenly appeared. I did it! Are you fucking happy? I killed it. I killed it. And I'm never going to forget.
As I stood there, the demon suddenly reappeared. It had a much more distinct face this time. I clearly remember its eyes. It looked right at me. It had a disappointed look before opening its mouth to speak.
This is the wrong house.
Without a second of hesitation, I took the knife and plunged it right into my own chest with all my might.
Let this be a lesson to anyone who happens to hear this. If you're ever planning on killing a child, make sure you kill the right one.